clean.
Shit. Look, man, I hit rock bottom and took the stones and built an empire. They asked me how you come about the smoke not smelling like fire. They say that life can be a bitch, so I made her my wife. I fell in love with this adversity and learned how to fight. Look, you don't know what wholeness feels like until you've been empty. You learn you've always been enough by the time you have plenty. Sometimes you gotta lose it all just to find yourself, to realize you had it all when you was by yourself. Cause I was down bad, got up in my bag, now I'm up again. Had to recognize who the fuck I is, had to run it back, ain't no fumbling. I hear you niggas mumbling, but you don't speak my lingo. So focus on my numbers, that they lining up like bingo. I done been through some shit that I probably never speak about. I done seen some lows that the pastor only preach about. I done did some things that some niggas only think about. Wrote this on my heart so nobody else can. If you stay ready, you ain't gotta get ready. If you stay ready, you ain't gotta get ready. If you stay ready, you ain't gotta get ready. If you stay ready, you ain't gotta get ready. If you stay ready, you ain't gotta get ready. If you stay ready, you ain't gotta get ready. If you stay ready, you ain't gotta get ready. If you stay ready, you ain't gotta get ready. If you stay. They ask me what I'm on, I just say my throne. Remember who I was, baby, welcome home. I've been in my zone, asking how I feel, great. Hungry for everything that's on my plate. When you stay ready, you ain't gotta wait. If you all you got, then you know what it takes. Why y'all niggas love to play? I get too much fucking grace. Had to choose what I won't take. If you drop me, I won't break. Baby, I'm built from the magic, I'm godly. Ooh. Fuck around, finding out, I get it poppin', I get it choppin'. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Cause I done been through some shit that I probably never speak about. I done seen them lows that the pastor only preach about. I done did some things that some niggas only think about. Wrote this on my heart so nobody else could envy. If you stay ready, you ain't gotta get ready. If you stay ready, you ain't gotta get ready. If you stay ready, you ain't gotta get ready. If you stay ready, you ain't gotta get ready. If you stay ready, you ain't gotta get ready. If you stay ready, you ain't gotta get ready. If you stay ready, you ain't gotta get ready. If you stay ready, you ain't gotta get ready. If you stay ready.
Music is frequency programming. Music is frequency. What frequency are you being fed? If I play with those frequencies, right, I can target certain parts of the mind. Target the frequency to go to certain parts of the mind. Or if I want you to go into a meditative state, I can make my music do that.
This is medicine music, prescription of frequency with a doses influenced by the state of the culture lacking some nourishment. Hella deficient of love, they needed encouragement, but taught to get numb off the drugs. Started to notice the loose screws, 10 of my toolbox. Cause how can you mend an issue when you got a bruised heart and mentally been scarred, physically been barred, ready for rebirth, but spiritually it's been hard. Let me take you through some steps that I done learned, loved one. Cause it don't happen overnight, this healing's earned, loved one. It come with practice, releasing your distractions, setting healthy boundaries and managing attachments. We made in God's image, but we started walking backwards when we gave away our power by submitting to a master. Then they pimped our infrastructure, changed the pricing in the package. Told you if you want it back, it's in blood cause they attacking. If you want to free your mind and free your spirit from the toxic, gotta vow to kill the poison of the snakes that's in your garden. Only giving your attention to the things that bring you honor. Keep your vibe sucker free and your circle free from drama. Shit, life crazy when you really think about it, and shit could get wicked if you really ain't moving solid. I'm praying you don't risk your whole life just for $1, and you conquer your demons before you end up getting conquered. So I gift you this medicine music. Yeah, I gift you this medicine music. Felt like I needed an umbrella for the rain, cause life was handing lemons, so I made some lemonade. You can sit with this medicine music. Belly of the beast to swallow you up for profit. Call it capital gains and they ain't even lifting proper. I aim to break the cycle my grandma passed to my mama, cause the DNA carry generational wealth and trauma. Encoded with a message, unfolding to your blessings. If you walk in your purpose, you can heal your family lineage. Work smart so I can leverage all of this time invested. Sing about me when I go, I lived everything I was destined. Victory over obstacles, 2020 my opticals. Cutting out all distractions, applying knowledge, I got the tools. Lesson learned that I got it, you junior die. Spark the fuse, step die. Spark the fuse, no way. I'ma lose this weight I carry heavy, but my ancestors heavier. Thought I was moving steady, but now I'm moving steadier. Gave my burdens to God, and now I'm feeling merrier. Got my eye on a lover, imagining I can marry her. And now it's come a time where you gotta pick a side, or whether or not you gon' contribute to Earth's demise, or if you gon' be one of them ones that embody light. Cause the future gon' be fucked up if the kids can't live their life. So I offer you medicine music. Yeah, I get you this medicine music. Yeah, ayy. Felt like I needed an umbrella for the rain, cause life was handing lemons, so I made some lemonade. You can sit with this medicine music. I gift you this medicine music. Yeah.
The brain processes information electrically. It communicates with the cellular structure electrically, and it operates within a certain band of frequency. Frequency.
Turn me up. Real one, no break, no. Yeah. Real one, no break, no. Real one, no break, no. Real ones never break. We bend, but don't fold. Pressure made diamonds, I was built for the cold. Came from the bottom, now I'm chasing the gold. Heart too solid, I never be so. Yeah. Real ones never break, now I never that. Lost it all once, had to double back. Pain in my chest, I remember that. Now I walk strong, I ain't going back. Came from the mud, yeah, the dirt on my name. Had to fight demons, had to deal with the pain. Nobody helped me, I was stuck in the rain. Now I'm shining, they be screaming my name. I was down bad, pocket flat, no hope. Now I'm riding through the city, top down, no roof. Had to learn quick how to move, stay low, cause the ones close turn fake, that's truth. I done seen love turn hate overnight. Had to cut ties, had to get my mind right. Every scar got a story to write. Now I'm glowing in the dark like a light. Real one never break. We bend but don't fold. Yeah. Pressure made diamonds, I was built for the cold. Came from the bottom, now I'm chasing the gold. Heart too solid, I never be so. Mama told me, boy, stand tall, don't quit. Even when the world try to break your spirit. I was in the trenches, they ain't see me win it. Now I'm on top, yeah, I came with a vision. They were laughing when I said I rise. Now they watching every move, surprise. I kept grinding, ain't switch no sides. Stay real even when I had nothing inside. I remember nights I ain't eat no sleep. Now I'm feasting, blessings coming deep. But I still move like the pain don't leave. Cause the scars remind me who to be. They try to break me down, I stood tall. Even when I felt like I might fall. God had a plan through it all. Now I'm rising, I'm answering the call. Yeah. Real ones never break. We don't fold. Came too far, I can't lose my soul. Fire in my heart, yeah, it stays on go. If you real like me, let the whole world know. Let's go. Step in the game, I'm applying pressure. Talk on my name, I'ma send a message. Came from nothing, now I'm stacking extras. Real ones move different, I'm built better. I don't play fair when it's wartime. Cross snakes, I don't spare mine. Came through clean, but I fight grime. Now I'm eating good, yeah, it's prime time. They ain't believe, now they switching sides. Funny how they act when you touch the sky. I kept it real, I ain't never lied. Now I'm up, I got nothing to hide. Real ones never break, never fold. Yeah. Even when the nights feel cold, hold your ground, never lose your soul. Yeah. Real one story forever told. Yeah. Real ones never break.
Finish line, self-made, bossed up, baby, I'm divine and it's by design. I ain't even gotta flex, they know I'm a guy, feel it in my vibe. They salute me when I'm in the streets, in the waters, yeah, we dive deep. Riding the wave, I done found purpose, balancing the current, tell me, can you see? In this industry, that's full of sharks, coming for your heart every time you bleed. Only the real gon' remain solid, we staying tall, ain't no compromising. On this road, gotta move righteous, me and God always in alignment, yeah. Me and God always in alignment. Me and God always in alignment. Doing this for the free souls, the ones that's following their own road, the ones that always keep it real, even if that mean you gotta ride solo. The ones that do the inner work, healing through their trauma, look at how they soul glow. Looking right through the veil, third eye vision, I don't need a GoPro. My ancestors rocking with me. Keep the channel open, they the ones that told me I had to get out of Philly. When you spread your wings, doing better things, niggas find a problem with it. Crabs in a barrel, blocking all their blessings, baby, and I'm drowning in them, let's go. running through the finish line. Self-made, bossed up, baby, I'm divine and it's by design. I ain't even gotta flex, they know I'm a guy, feeling in my vibe. They salute me when I'm in the streets. In the waters, yeah, we dive deep. Riding the wave, I done found purpose, balancing the current. Tell me, can you see? In this industry that's full of sharks, coming for your heart every time you bleed. Only the real gon' remain solid. They stand tall, ain't no compromising. On this road, gotta move righteous. Me and God always in alignment, yeah. Me and God always in alignment. Me and God always in alignment. Me and God always in alignment. Me and God always in alignment.
Hey, peace and blessings, Starseeds. Peace and blessings, y'all. Back it up. Boop. Welcome to Pronoia Starseed Podcast. Thank you for being in the building tonight. It is a wonderful, wonderful night. We are honoring the late and great Dr. Betty Shabazz and, of course, Malcolm X. So make sure you got your speakers up loud as we talk about the late greats tonight. Okay. Tonight, Knowledge Born Allah is in the building. That's right, the Story Alchemist. This is his show tonight, and we have a special guest with him, the Math Metaphysician himself, Mr. Westbrooks. I'm about to say his first name. I don't know. He might want me to drop his government name. He got it on the screen, so I guess I call him Nick tonight. Nick at Night is here. Yeah, Mr. Westbrooks is in the building, y'all. So thank you for being in the building. I think it's going to be a very interesting and dope show. You got the Math Metaphysician and you got the Story Alchemist, and we're talking about Betty Shabazz, Dr. Betty Shabazz, and Malcolm X. Come on, y'all. I hope you're ready. Without further ado, I'm going to bring on the gentleman, and I'm going to be here very temporarily. So first and foremost, let's welcome Mr. Knowledge Born Allah to the stage, y'all. Oh, let me unmute your mics. Hey, welcome, Knowledge.
How you feeling? Got us right.
I am great. How are you?
Starseed Mother Ma'am, okay? Starseed Mother Ma'am, yes. Tell them to check them earrings out. Tell them to check them out, okay?
Check them out. Thank you, girl. Yes, got to catch them dreams, okay? Yes. All right, and without further ado, I would like to bring up the Math Metaphysician himself, Mr. Westbrooks. Hey, peace and blessings.
Jersey in the building. Jersey in the building. Jersey in the building. I'm saying, yo, show him that shirt, son. Show him that shirt, son. I like that.
I like the shirt.
Yes, I like that. Allah's paradise.
Yep. Then you got your eye in the pyramid on there too. Yep.
Well, you know what? I'm gonna let these gentlemen run the show tonight, but before they do,
can you stay?
Me?
Can you stay? Yeah.
Okay, so the only reason I was going to leave, because look, if you look, we really tiny on the screen.
It's okay. It's okay.
Y'all gonna have me here just looking at y'all.
You can stay, for a little while, because we could tell this for you. May is for the mothers, right? So the whole theme of the month is the mother, right? So I collaborated with Nick. We was going to do this on the 19th. We was going to get our knowledge born on. We was going to deal with Malcolm. But the numbers and our destinies aligned it to be today on the 28th, 9 days after, right? What a difference 9 days makes. And I'm going to get into that in a second. But in honor of your mother, in honor of my mother, in honor of Mauru's mother, and all of those ancestral spirits that walk with us, when you lose your mother from the physical realm, you might lose your way. There are moments where you lose your way. So I wanted to make sure, I want us to have a moment of celebration, right? A moment of celebration, a moment of upliftment, a moment of empowerment for our mothers, because there are mothers by name and spirit essence in the moment, but they receive quickenings. The mothers are rising, so they're being called to do a greater work.
Yes.
So they're still attached to the names that we've given to them and what we know them by, but the world knows them by other names. So as much as we want to hold on to our mothers, when they ascend to that, master level, they'll respond to a name, but their mission is a global, universal mission now. And so those three mothers, with the mothers who have mothered after martyrdom, meaning they were with someone to their last day and they didn't stop. Right. So if we look at the mothers who mothered after the revolution, mothers who mothered after the martyrdom, they continued on the work. The men get celebrated, the women get forgotten. So there was no way that the math would allow us to go into another space where we honor Malcolm and not his legacy. Dr. Betty Shabazz made sure that his legacy was intact and fought tooth and nail against the government, against the defectors, the detractors, all of those things, and managed to keep his legacy together and then impart in a space in a world that helped Black families as a whole on an enrichment level. So I just wanted to make sure that you stayed, even if you'd only stayed a little bit, to give you that honor due as mother, in honor of your mother, in honor of you as mother, and what you mean to the Starseed universe, even starseeds that you hadn't met yet in the future. You exist for a future time, and we get the benefit of your presence as a present in the now. So I want to make sure that you got that, because I know so this month has been
for real. That was so beautiful.
Hey, this month has been something. So I just want to make sure you got what you got directly.
Well, thank you, Knowledge. I really appreciate that. And yes, that's so funny because I just said that. I said that we are now, what we're doing now is for the future starseeds, like when Dr. Dilbert Blair and them was talking, that was for us. We wasn't present then, but the message was for us now. And now we're speaking for the future starseeds. So thank you for that. I do want to shout out the mother. This is the last show honoring the mother this month, but we honor the mother every day over here on Pronoia. Every day we honor that energy. But officially, the month will close out with this show. And I love the fact that it's closing out with the men honoring the mother. I love the fact that it's you two of all of us that are honoring the mother as the last show, because of course it's always the mother and the son. And so I take the back seat because I love to sit back and feel the energy that comes off of this show. I really enjoy it. But I wanted to also share that because this was the last show for the mother, I brought this mug specifically to honor Mother Gaia and all the mothers. So, I normally sip from my Egyptian cup, but today we honored the mothers. And I think this is more like a statue. I'm going to put this up somewhere after the night. But shout out to all the mothers. I love you. And shout out to all those who support the mother energy and understand its necessity, because it is a necessary energy. We all carry it, right? You all were born through a mother. So everybody carries the mother's energy. And so I really appreciate you honoring Dr. Betty Shabazz and Malcolm X. I'm not going to lie. I am a Malcolm X fan. Back in the day, and everybody was like, who's that? Man, if I was living, put that thing on around my head and put me up in there with Malcolm X and them, baby, because I love me some Malcolm X. By any means necessary is my motto, even when it comes to spirituality. If I got to get it to the people in the most rawest way, by any means necessary, to get all of God's souls, because God loves all of us and wants us all back. So by any means necessary is a very strong motto. And shout out to Malcolm X and Dr. Betty Shabazz for their legacy that will forever live on, forever and ever. But I thank you for the honor. I really do. I'm going to go back and run that again. I need to hear that again. That was beautiful. And I'm going to let you gentlemen run the show, because I'm really interested in hearing about the numbers and just the martyrdom and everything. I'm really excited about this show. I've been excited I put this reel out early. Normally I wait till about a day or two before, but I couldn't wait to get this reel out when I found out the topic. I was like, oh, I got to work on that reel. I got to work on that reel. Because it's really important to honor our ancestors, and especially those who spoke up when speaking up wasn't, the thing to do. They lost their lives for speaking up. So shout out to the ancestors who are bold and brave. And I'm going to take a back seat. I love y'all. Have a great night. And I'll be back up in a few.
All right.
All right. Peace, Starseed.
All right. Peace to the family. Before Knowledge Born delivers the exposition, as the Story Alchemist does. That story plot structure, the exposition, rising action, climax, fallen action, resolution. I just wanted to acknowledge the legacy, because we just talking about the legacy of Dr. Betty and Malcolm. The legacy is 6 daughters, right? And one of those daughters, Dr. Ilyasa, I have one of her books here, Betty Before X. Got this in 2018. She came to Jersey and did a book signing. But this is a book about Dr. Betty's life before she met Malcolm. So her childhood years, and it's written for the youth, for the children. It's a chapter book. So I believe chapter books are late elementary school, middle school age, but she dropped this in 2018. Now, fast forward to 2026, May 19th, Brother Malcolm's birthday. Dr. Ilyasa released Malcolm in the Desert just 9 days ago. Malcolm in the Desert, Wisdom from the Spiritual Transformation of Malcolm X. So we talk about spirituality on Pronoia Starseed podcast. And Goddess Rael, she's a big admirer of Malcolm X. Well, there's a new book that just came out by one of Malcolm and Dr. Betty's daughters about Malcolm's spiritual journey. So you can look that up. It's called Malcolm in the Desert, Wisdom from the Spiritual Transformation of Malcolm X by Dr. Ilyasa Shabazz. So I just want to lay that out. And now I'll pass it back to your host, your host number one. I'm host number two.
I want to do a little supreme numeric real quick, if I could. Can we give the people the significance of 6 and 9, because they're going to show up a lot in this Discord?
Okay. So you can look at the flow line of 6 and 9. 6, visually 6 is an inversion of the 9. And 6 is one of those midpoint numbers in numerology. Whatever system that you're using, most systems go from 1 to 9. That 6 is one of those midpoint numbers, 4, 5, 6, and that 9 represents the ending of a cycle. That 6 represents balance and healing, while that 9 represents completion in one system of numerology, or it can represent birth in another system of numerology. So there's going to be talk surrounding healing, talk surrounding love for the greater humanity, which is representative of the 6 and 9. 6 more of a familial love, 9 more of a global love for the greater human race. But as we build in this conversation, you will notice that Dr. Betty is a representative of these characteristics of the 6 and 9.
Well, let me tell you something. If y'all ever hear Mr. Westbrooks say numbers don't lie, believe him. Okay? Believe him. Believe him and believe you. Believe the intuition that you pick up from one who is true in their path, in their walk, in their talk, and in their life. Dr. Betty Shabazz, if we looked at number 9, and number 9 meaning completion, and if 6 meant healing, healing is not an easy journey, and neither is completion. So the opposite of complete, I got the English teacher here. If I'm wrong, you scold me. Is incomplete. Incomplete. And this is the instance where in does not denote finish. In, if you look at in, it would mean house. It would mean you're housed inside of something. If you looked at Genesis, and they said Genesis in the Hebrew is loosely spoken of as Bereshith. And Bereshith means in the beginning of the mind. In, Beth, head, house. In, Beth, house. Resh, head, the house of the mind. Dr. Betty Shabazz and Malcolm were incomplete without one another. They were complete with one another. They both possessed a piece that was missing that they found in each other that they would never have found anyplace. Malcolm was hurt by America. Malcolm was despised and rejected by America because of what his family stood for. His father was assassinated. His mother was taken from him and put in a mental institution. He was separated from the things that bore him, that gave him life and purpose, and he was separated from his siblings. How many siblings did he have? 6. They were great together. They were great together. Well, he had 5 siblings, but 6 of them total. Pardon me. I want to make sure I get the numbers correct because the numbers matter. Because when we get to these numbers that Mr. Westbrooks is conveying to you are true to life. So he was separated from his siblings, and he was no longer in a healing environment. So that rage that took over him, that became his being, took him to catch the sting of the lash of America. After the martyrdom of his father, his mother had to strive to mother her children, no longer being connected to their safe place, their refuge. So in him was a piece that was broken. In him was a piece that was missing. No organization could fill that wound. When Dr. Betty Shabazz said she went to see him, she said she had no interest in the Nation of Islam whatsoever. She was a Methodist from a child growing up. We'll get into that in a second. She said the only reason why she went there because the nurses that she worked with was raving about this man. You got to go hear him speak. He's so eloquent, and all the women love him. So she said, oh, okay, whatever. And she went in there, and she heard Malcolm speak. She said when she heard Malcolm speak, she heard those things that the other people heard, and she saw the other things that the other people saw, but she saw something that no one saw. This is an outsider coming into an organization that it's on its way up, so to speak. And she see this young, prolific speaker that's there that speaks all of the languages of the people that's in the audience. There's healing in his words, but there's also pain. and trauma in his words. Traumatized by America, traumatized on the bottom rung of America in the foster care system. Dr. Betty came up in the same system. It was something different for her. We'll get into that in a second. And what she said was she saw a man that was doing everything for everybody, but there was nobody there to help him. He was distrustful of everybody that was around him. She saw a part in there, inside of his essence, inside of his spirit that was broken, and she wanted to be someone who could help him with that. So now look at everybody else's attraction. It was a topical attraction. Hers was in the essence based off of her station in life and how she was reared up from the family who adopted her. They adopted her into their home and they treated her as their own child, even calling her their angel child. Malcolm was taken from his home where all of the children were angel children. They were intelligent, they were gifted, they were all of these things, and then thrusted into the underbelly of America to be left to be preyed on. So he was taken into every home and abused and misused and cast aside. He was mocked for his intelligence. It wasn't welcome. So he resorted to set a trajectory on a path that would later help him be able to build organization around the globe because of the trek that he walked on. So that underbelly was where he needed to be because he would have to go back to that underbelly and pull people out of the muck and the mire and the ashes of the war in America. However, being in such close direct contact with all of that sickness and all of these ills, you're affected in ways that you have no clue that they're affected. So it would take one who would be able to have a prescription for your affliction, and you have a prescription for her affliction, because she said her parents loved her, but they did not teach her about America, the reality of America. She said Malcolm taught her that. Taught her the technology of the enemy that she longed for, that she asked her parents for, but they wanted to shield her. And look at divine ordination, one who caught the sting of the lash and one who was a help. They could help each other. Both could be forged, both could be purified, and both could be risen up in a way that is a model for liberation. When she was speaking after his funeral, she said, "There's no death for a martyr." In Islamic tradition, that's true. It holds true in all of the essence. She said there is no death for a martyr. And the martyrdom sought to destroy the physical flesh, thinking that it would eliminate any reference to the name. But all it did was exacerbate the study. Mr. Westbrook showed us a book from Dr. Ilyasa about Dr. Betty Shabazz. There's only 2 books in circulation written about Dr. Betty Shabazz. One from her daughter, and another from a man who never previously wrote anything black or anything black after. He said somehow he was compelled to be in the attic of his mother's house, and it took him a couple years to write this book. the amount of publications, the amount of reverence that is given to Al-Hajj Malik Al-Shabazz, Brother Omar Wali, affectionately known to the world as Minister Malcolm X, is countless. There was a woman who loved him, who helped him, who healed him, who supported him, who became the mother that he needed to continue to fight a fight in the front. And she ensured that there was no casualty unto himself in the inside. And then in turn, he made sure that she was no casualty after his departure. He warned her of the external and the internal threats by name and detail, who would come, how they would come, what they would offer, all of these things. So she was prepared. And the fire that they had for each other could not be consumed by the fire, could not be destroyed by the fire. In 32 years in succession for that fire to come again in the name of Malcolm. So let me toss it back to Mr. Westbrook for the numeric mathematicals, and then I get into another part I want to read real quick.
Yeah, this thank you for that. That was a beautiful opening, beautiful exposition there. You set the stage for the rest of this conversation. It's very interesting that you described their relationship as a completion, because Malcolm and Betty were numerically, they were actually a mirror of one another. When you go beneath the surface of the numbers, just looking at their birthdays. So they were both born in the month of May. As I was born, mentioned 9 days apart. It goes to that number 9. Number 9 representing a complete cycle, since it starts at 1, ends at 9. But the numbers don't end at the 9. They just cipher back and restart a new cycle. So they're both born in the 5th month. Malcolm born on the 19th. Dr. Betty born on the 28th. 1 plus 9 equals 10. 2 plus 8 equals 10. So the day of the month that they were born on both add up to a 1. Malcolm born in 1925. 1 plus 9 plus 2 plus 5 equals 8. Dr. Betty born in 1934. 1 plus 9 plus 3 plus 4 equals 8. So they went through the same life cycles. As in numerology, the month represents the formative years. The day of the month represents the productive years. And the year represents the harvest years. So needless to say, with the identical cycles, life cycles, they also have identical life path numbers and identical pinnacle lessons and challenges. And what all that means is the purpose that they were placed in this physical realm to serve was identical. They had identical lessons to learn, being that they're facing the same challenges and the same lessons. They can they leaned on one another in order to master those lessons. That's what the life path number is, those life lessons. And when you add up those 3 life cycles, that adds up to a 5. So they were both number 5 life path numbers. And we also see that 6 and 9 show up in those smaller life cycles that appear within the life path, which we call the pinnacle. So that life path number, those are lessons that exist from birth to transition, the entire duration of one's life. The pinnacle lessons and challenges, these are 4 cycles within the entire lifespan that represent lessons, or I will call them checkpoints along the way to mastering that life path number. And for both of them, that first lesson, that first pinnacle represented the years from birth to age 31. From birth to age 31, although they're not the same age, they have the same cycles. They were both going through a number 6 lesson. And then at age 32, that's when you transition into the second lesson. That's a number 9 lesson. So there goes that 6 and 9 once again. So during those early years in which those adolescent years, and then leading up to the time in which they met, they courted for a brief period and married, they were each going through a number 6 lesson, which is centered around the family and the home. And like we said earlier, the number 6, which is healing, and looking at the flow of the number 6 is shaped like the womb, also connected to the family and birth. And during that time, they were also going through a number 4 challenge, lessons or certain challenges that they had to overcome, which is the number 4, and learning how to do a lot with a little bit, which is one of those main lessons of the 4, and being efficient. So that theme of completion for Malcolm and Betty is considering and seeing one another as equals all the way to the core, to the essence of it, and leaning on one another to fulfill each respective person's life purpose and to overcome the challenges that they encountered, from Malcolm's short life to Betty's longer life.
Can we look at the marriage date, January 14, 1958?
Yes, sir. So January 14th, 1958. So they met before they got married. They met in 1956. So that's the year of the 3. And I also forgot to mention about the 6 and the 9. The 6 and the 9 make up 2 of the artistic triad. The artistic triad is the 3, 6, and 9. So we also see that number 3 show up a bit too in not only some of these dates, but also their names. And if if time permits, we'll take a look at the names also. But 1958, January 14th, 1958. I'm going to pull up my calculator real quick. So 1958 would have been the year of the 5. A year that's all about change and transition, big changes. It's all about movement. It's a number of adaptability. So marriage is indeed a significant change. Now that day, it was on the 14th, and the 14th is also a number 5. 1 plus 4 equals 5. And then when you add it all up together, it adds up to a master number 11. So they got married on a master number 11 day. And if you know from numerology, the master numbers are very powerful numbers. That extend beyond the 1 to 9 cycle. And they come with great responsibility, and just as powerful they are on the positive side, they can be very powerful on the challenging side. But it's significant that they were married on a day that adds up to an 11 when we add up the month, day, and the year to get the total, because the number 11 is here to light the world with big ideas. And of course, as individuals, we can light the world and inspire others and lead others, but you go farther and you have more power when you do it together. So this union was a multiplication or a doubling of the one that they already possess, because remember, they're both born on a day that adds up to a 1. So in their own right, in individual selves, they're dynamic leaders alone. But when you come together, like I said, that magnifies that creative, inventive, pioneering, and leadership energy. So that's how I see the marriage date, January 14th, 1958.
I'm gonna read Psalms 28. Y'all can thank Mr. Westbrook, for he hit me with a couple of scriptures when he came on. You understand what I'm saying? So I'm gonna read Psalms 28. And Nick, I give you a quarter if you could guess how many verses are in Psalms 28.
11.
All right, well, you owe me a quarter then. 9 verses.
9.
9 verses, right? And when you said the mirror of the life, right? 9/11, it works, right? It works together. The mirror of the life. When I read these verses, I want the people that are listening to hear their own stories, but also to hear the story that's written. Goddess Rael talked about the mother and son, right? And mother and son is where the Christ figure comes from. So when I think about the Christ figure, I think about King Adonis, his relationship with his mother and child, my relationship with my mother and child, in that essence, right? And all of those, Killer Priest with his mother and child, that significance of the umbilical cord that's never being severed. Peace to the Soulful Oracle, Miss Blue. I asked her about the umbilical cord and the cord cutting. She said it's impossible. In the Islamic tradition, I know Queen Mother Ru is in the building. It says, do not cut off relations with the wombs that bore you. So in the Islamic world, they talk about the institutions that bore you as well. Not just your mother, those places that mother you, that give you birth, that give you sustenance, that give you the ability to be able to speak. So in the spirit of mother and child, mother and son, all of these connectors. And when I say mother and son, I'm saying mother and daughter also. I'm not excluding. I'm unifying in this space. So Psalms 28. is a discussion between David and his mother that they turn into songs. If you have a tradition and it's living, you have oral traditions that you pass from mouth to ear, but you also have songs that are purifiers, that are stories within stories. If you're going through something, you got a song that accompanies it. And a song can take you back to a time that you can no longer physically travel to. You hear something from 95? I'm telling you, we in 95. We against the world, we in 95. You know what I'm saying? You hit Shook once, you in 95. You know what I mean? You just there, you just go there. It's like, all right, this is where it's at. So the muse has the power to transport you to a time in the moment. So you're in that time, in the present moment. It could be a past time or a future time in the moment. So in Psalm 28, it says, "Unto thee will I cry, O Lord, my rock." And if y'all ever been in the church before, y'all heard, "Blessed be the rock of my salvation." Hosanna. Blessed be the rock. Blessed be the rock of my salvation. Okay? Be not silent to me. Lest if thou be silent with me, I will become like them that go down into the pit. Hear the voice of my supplications when I cry unto thee, when I lift up my hands towards thy holy oracle. This holy oracle. Who's this holy oracle? Oh, she on the screen. There she goes. All right. I see her. Draw me not away with the wicked and with the workers of iniquity, which speak peace to their neighbors. Nick, this is what they said, that speak peace to their neighbors, but mischief is in their hearts. They come through like, yo, peace, God, yo, peace to the God, how you be, God? And their hearts is on mischief. Their mouth says something. Right? This is what Dr. Betty Shabazz said when she walked up into the nation. Her first initial reception, she saw people that spoke peace, but in their hearts, there was mischief in their hearts. Mischief in their hearts, right? So the organization, they're supposed to be detoxing. They go through this whole process in space, and they might rid themselves of vices, but never change their mentality. And their mentality could have been the sickness and the reason for their vice. So when you receive the X in mathematics is supposed to represent the unknown. So they relegated it to, in one instance, that you were given the names of your plantation owners as a surname. So X, until that X is replaced through your labor with one of those ineffable names of God, right? Or one of those righteous names. So X, one explanation of the X, that the number that accompanied it was however many people that had your name before that. The other explanation, which is the truer explanation, is any one of the number of vices that you admit ridding yourself of. So if you had 37 vices, it was brother blah 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 37X, not the 37th Timothy, the 37 vices that you were seeking to rid yourself with through by your own labor and with the help of your Lord. Give them according to their deeds and according to the wickedness of their endeavors. Give them after the work of their hands. Render to them their dessert. Justice is your penalty or reward, depending upon your what? Your ways and actions. Give them according to their deeds and according to the wickedness of their endeavors. You understand? Give them after the work of their hands, because you know people throw rocks and hide their hands, right? Render to them their desert. See, I was talking about can't get down and look at me, show them. That's beautiful. Because they regard not the works of their Lord. That's why. Because they regard not the works of their Lord. They ain't talking about somebody sitting still. You see all of this stuff that's here for you, all that is given unto you, and you regard it not. I know the people who are listening, they're picturing somebody in their head. You done gave everything to them, and no matter what you give to them, it ain't enough. It ain't enough. Because they regard not the works of their Lord, nor the operation of his hands. They said the devil busy. What you think God doing? God working. You had the whole world in your hands and think you just gonna be chilling with it. Everything that you're not in control of, even in your own physical structure, you're not in control of your breathing. Once you gotta breathe yourself, you're in trouble. Now, he shall destroy them and not build them up. He shall destroy them and not build them up. All right. Blessed be the Lord, because he hath heard the voice of my supplications. The Lord is my strength and my shield. My heart trusted in him, and I am helped. Therefore my heart greatly rejoiceth, and with my song will I praise him. Last two. The Lord is their strength, and he is saving strength of his anointed. Save thy people and bless thine inheritance. Feed them also and lift them up forever. Tell me you ain't see Malcolm and Dr. Betty in this entire way.
Oh, yeah. Oh, for sure. I see it in the numbers too. And I think about verse 3 when you were talking about how those smiles not the handshake's not matching the smile.
Matching the smile, yeah. Go ahead.
Yeah. Because that like I told you, that marriage date adds up to a number 11. Mm-hmm. And that number 11 on the negative side, so on the positive side, it's that number of light. But now that you see Betty and Malcolm in Psalm 28, I not only see them lighting the light for the world, but bringing extra light to their union. And Betty noticing that, as I said, the cordial speaking from the neighbors, but malice in their hearts, right?
Mm-hmm.
That is the number 11 right there on the negative side. The number 11, I'm going to read this to you about the number 11. It cautions against unseen threats, trouble, and betrayal from others.
Mm.
It forecasts huge obstacles to overcome. All right. And what's also interesting about that is not only does the marriage date add up to the number 11, but the word martyrdom in the Chaldean system of numerology adds up to the number 29. And what does the number 29 say? The number 29 is not much different from the number 11 on the challenger side. 29 implies insecurities, betrayals, and craftiness from others. It predicts difficulties, misfortune, and unanticipated threats. 29 has untrustworthy friends. People of the opposite sex bring much pain and deception to a person influenced by 29. 29 is a warning for upcoming plans. Martyrdom and January 14th, 1958. Psalm chapter 28, verse 3. 28 plus 3, when you reduce it down to a single digit, adds up to a 4. 4 is the number of hidden or secret enemies. So that screamed out to me as you were reading that scripture there. And that was the word of God for the people of God. Thanks be to God.
Most definitely. So can we look at Malcolm's attempted assassination? Could we look at February 14th, 1965, and then we'll transition to the 21st, and then ultimately the 1st of June, 1997, and the 23rd.
Well, we talked about the 6 and 9 coming up a lot. The number 5 seems to be coming up a lot too. We talked about January 14th for the wedding date. We talked about them both being born in the 5th month of May. And that first assassination attempt occurred on February 14th. 1 plus 4 equals 5. So again, at number 5. Matter of fact, let's talk about that number 5 in more detail. Let me just go to the books for these numbers here so we can get a fuller perspective here. So the number 5 is the symbol of man or woman in certain circles, the 5-pointed star or the pentagram. In physical life, the number 5 also represents 5 fingers and the 5 senses. The number 5 people love their freedom and are able to adapt to change in any situation. Their versatility allows them to be carefree and constantly on the move. It is said in order to keep a number 5 person, you must let them be themselves. Number 5 person can be very adventurous, clever, and possess many talents. However, focus is the key to their success in whatever they want to accomplish. The number 5 in this lower vibratory state is known as the number of temptation, impulsiveness, drugs, sexual addiction, and confusion. When the number 5 person decides to overcome the physical plane's allure and stop procrastination, carelessness, addictive vices, and the 5 senses of satisfaction, then that is their time to reach for the higher realms. In tarot, 5 is known as the Hierophant, the priestly figure of man's divinity. And the inner work of the 5 is to stay focused, to hone each of your talents and use your charisma to expand in any field you love and choose to do. So what I hear in that number 5 is if it wasn't for Malcolm's and Dr. Betty's discipline, because on the negative side, discipline and moderation and focus can be the enemies of the number 5 on the negative side. If it wasn't for them exercising that discipline and that focus and being careless, that could have been a successful attempt on February the 14th, 1965. 1965 was the year of the 3. And the number 3 is connected to the nerves, mental strain on the challenging side and the health side. Is connected to excess overdoing of certain things. And as a universal day, February 14, 1965, that all adds up to a number 1, which is the same number as Dr. Betty and Malcolm's birthday numbers. So they're both number 1 people. This attempt was on the number 1 day. So it fell on a day that is favorable to them. And of course, an assassination attempt isn't a favorable event, but being able to survive an assassination attempt is definitely favorable. And that's a message and lesson for those of you out there listening. Whenever a number matches on a particular date, particular yearly cycle, monthly cycle, daily cycle, when that number is the same as your birth number, it should be favorable to you as long as you're using that energy in a positive way. So it's interesting, quite interesting that it fell on the day that matches their birthday number. So that was February 14th. And you want to go to February 21st next, or do you want to say something about that?
Yeah, we could go to February 21st next.
February
7
21st.
days difference.
Yes, 7 day difference. And that number 7, just to speak on that 7 day difference, the number 7 is that number of going beneath the surface to find the answers to the questions that you want to know about, doing the research, analyzing the situation, going within, spending time in solitude. That's the number 7. Also, Seekers Revealed is connected to the energy of the number 7 as well. And the 21st, that adds up to the number 3. And that number 21, before it is reduced to a single digit, that's the world card. And the number 21 indicates advancement in life, achievements, and super victory. Victorious after a long struggle, 21 is the number which conveys artistic, musical, poetic, and literary success, representing the artistic mastery every artist seeks to obtain. 21 as a life path number makes one a talented landscaper, perfumer, botanist, interior designer, and chef. 21 is prosperous and lucky when planning the future. 21 is strength, independence, innovation, distinction, and wealth. But when you add 2 and 1 together to get 3, on the positive side, the 3 is ambitious, it's creative, it's expressive, it's joyful, it's entertaining, it's popular, it's a leadership number. But on the challenging side, it can be cruel, extravagant, jealous, gossiper, self-indulgent, superficial, and they could suffer from emotional upsets and outbursts and strain to the nerves from overwork or overplay. So it'll be interesting to see what the mindset of Dr. Betty and Malcolm was on that day, leading up to that fateful moment, But that's the 21st, and when we add it all together, that was an 8 universal day. And in 1965, like I said, is also the year of the 3. But the number 8 is an 8 universal day. Number 8 is intense and focused. It's loyal. The 8 is hardworking. The 8 is misunderstood. The 8 represents old soul energy. And on the challenging side, the 8, oh, check this one out right here. Poor judgment on the number 8. So, you know, a lot of things that were supposed to go a certain way on that day didn't go according to plan, and certain decisions were made that could have been were very fatalistic. And speaking of fatalistic, 8 is a fatalistic number as well. You know, fear of loss, greed, like I said, fatalistic, power hungry, despondent moods for the health. You know, so that was the energy surrounding that fateful day, February 21st, 1965.
Now look at this. February 21st is Nina Simone's birthday. So what you said about 21 is perfect. What you said about the 3, Curtis Mayfield is born June 3rd. Also, Tech from Smith & Wesson. So look at the energy in regards to the numbers and think about their lives and personality. Dr. Betty Shabazz was pregnant with twins. She didn't tell Malcolm. It was supposed to be a surprise for his birthday on May 19th. She was going to tell him. They had 4 daughters at the time. Only 3 were present. Ilyasa was not. Ilyasa was at the house. So that means there were 3 daughters present on this day. With 2 in the belly unknown, right? So there's the 5. Working all these things together. So the failed assassination attempt happened on a favorable day, and then the one that actually happened changed the world forever. So on February 21st, 1965, changed the world forever. It set Dr. King on a trajectory that changed his thoughts and being in regards to how he saw Haj Malik al-Shabazz, brother Omar Wali, personally. They had a discussion, right? And he also spoke with the messenger as well. So his life was changed in regards to his outward view towards those who were around him as well. So on that day, Malcolm knew who his assassins were. All of the answers were revealed. Now, I'll go back to the 14 and the 7, the 7-day connection, and show you something else after this. The plan, from what I know from the connections of the people that I know, was that Malcolm was to be assassinated. Dr. Betty was ultimately supposed to be trampled in the fray. And then they were supposed to take the children and keep the children. So, although one aspect of it went away, the other aspect didn't. So, there was one for the other in that regard. Dr. Betty Shabazz said that she always loved Malcolm, but she said that she fell in love with Malcolm February 14, 1965. She said the house was on fire. Malcolm got her to safety, got the children to safety. Going back in and out of this house, back and forth to get things that they needed with no regard for his safety or his life. None. She said it was one time he was coming out with something and she saw fire on his robe. And she said she looked at him and she looked at the man that she loved. She said she looked at him in a way that she had never seen him before, like she saw him for the first time. And she said she fell in love with this man. And that was the energy that permeated through the being from February 14th to February 21st. They had limited physical exposure time because he was still working. Back to the thing you were saying about the overwork and the overplay. Back to that addictive sort of personality that you were talking about that's associated with the numbers, right? So there's an aspect of overindulgence. You know, if you're dealing with an addictive personality, that's their vice. So if I'm in a space of despair or I want to be in charge of the organization or whatever the case may be, I'm being led by that vice. I'm addicted to it. It's abusive to me. It's hurting me. It's nothing good going to come up this instance. However, I'm addicted and I'm powerless over this addiction. So if you're presented with an opportunity to take out a person because you think you're going to be next in line, I'm going to find that addictive personality. And I'm going to get those addictive personalities together. And that's the essence of the leadership, organization, relationship. When it's not checked. That's the essence. Somebody always think that they supposed to be the imam. Somebody always think that they supposed to be the next in line for the pastor, or I was supposed to get this position or this post, or I was supposed to get this raise or promotion. And once you start to spiral into that place, that thing is alive. That thing begins to feed on you. You feed it with yourself. So now you're thinking in the space of paranoia, repression, all of these things. You are putting yourself in a spiritual bind, an emotional graveyard, and a death of your being. It begins to fight your body, your mind, and your spirit from the inside out. And it seems as if it's fair seeming. You seem like it's motivation. You might think that that's ambition. It's your degradation. It's your devolution happening. And you think you want to come up. So the handshake ain't matching the smile. And you thinking that you're going to be able to hide it. Malcolm had a voice of a cult leader. If you look at Minister Farrakhan, voice of a cult leader. You understand what I'm saying to you? That's notorious for a Taurus. Dr. Betty had the voice of a serial killer. You understand what I'm saying? She had the voice of a serial killer. That is synonymous with Gemini. So thinking about these two personalities going together, they got a zealotry for one another in addition to their love for one another. They didn't play about nobody. Dr. Betty never remarried. And they asked Dr. Ilyasa, you ask your mother, why she never remarried. She said she had the best man she could ever have in her life. Who could replace him? So when you start looking at these polarities, right, that you're expressing in the numbers, when you look at love in that way, Dr. Betty had that love regardless. Malcolm was blessed enough to have that love in his life to his last breath. And then after the 32 years, she mothered after the martyrdom. Think about what she did. She was penniless. She was able to get 100% of the royalty rights for the book. She didn't like the book. She didn't really want the book out, but she needed to take care of these children. So she allowed the book to come out. She allowed different speeches to come out. She allowed the rights to go to the movie, all of these things, because she needed to take care of her family. Her children went to private school. 6 children in private school. They were not living on the street. They were not living in squalor. And they went to private school. And then they went to something like almost like an after-school program for well-to-do Black people. She went to school. She drove to Boston on Monday and came back home on Wednesday to get her advanced degree, to go get her doctorate degree, to defend her dissertation. That's academic, right? That's academic. She was an associate professor. She got tenure. She was living that professor life. Do you think she stopped working? No. She was a Delta. She was a founding member of the Provisional Government Republic of New Africa in 1968. She was the second vice president of this organization. Not only did she take on the city, the county, and the state who tried to deem her unfit and take her children away from her and fight them, she helped hundreds of young Black women keep their children in their home. She was in every organization you could think about. We're from North. I went to Shabazz for like a week. You understand what I'm saying to you?
Yeah.
There are schools, there are places, there are institutions, there's avenues, there are things that are named after her. There are people who took on the Shabazz for these two that you see right here. It wasn't something that was popular. It was something that was nation specific, that spoke to a group of people who were rebellious. So after Malcolm's transition, she went to Mecca and she came back. And she said, had she not gone to Mecca in 1965, she would have lost everything, meaning her own being, her own faculties, her own spirit. She came back renewed. She was Al-Hajj Bahia Shabazz. Bahia is beautiful, radiant, like the sun. She was the sun that returned from the dead. They thought after this assassination, she would go into hiding and they could just do what they did. She understood that she would not allow the destruction that happened to Malcolm and his siblings to happen to her children because she knew of it. She knew of it. She knew the play. Look at the play. They came and they took Malcolm's life, and then they took Malcolm's mother, and then they took the siblings. Now they took Malcolm. They were coming for her. He warned her in grave detail how they would come. And she waited on them. She was prepared. He prepared her in that time extensively. That wasn't the first time that they tried to take his life. He was poisoned a few times while overseas. So thinking about this kind of life, he wasn't, in his 60s, 70s. He was 39. He was 39. You understand what I'm saying? So you think about the age, and she's younger than him. So if you look at it, she's like 9 years younger than him. He's 30. Think about what you were doing at 30 years old. Think about what you were doing at 39 years old. So think about you're in your 30s You got to raise 6 children by yourself with the government after you, with the city after you, with these people that's supposed to be your friends. The one who kept your daughter at their house was informing on them to the city and to the county because they hated her husband. He did not want them in their house. He didn't have a choice. They waited on that. Those were going to be the custodians of Malcolm's legacy. So this is how close the threat was internally. Internally, this is how close the threat was. They had one of his children. They had Dr. Ilyasa in their house. So this is how close the plot was. No regard for a life of safety. So these are all of the challenges and the things that they had to overcome in their relationship, in their marriage, in their undying loyalty to a people who could very as easily forget them. They could remember Malcolm 100, 102 years later, 101 years later. But Dr. Betty, I seen claim Malcolm X Day all over the United States and all over the world. What about today? What about her? What about her? I never let a year go by. Never let a year go by. We got a kinship. We got a bond. We got a relationship. Her and Mamie Till are like spirit mothers in addition to my mother. So in the essence of mother, of uplifting mother, of honoring mother, my life has been edified and protected in ways I can't even explain. They come to me. Samir Rice's mother is in my phone. The mothers. So Dr. Betty Shabazz not only had to do these things that she did for her own self-improvement and for the improvement of her daughters, she had a connection and a bond to Black family as a whole. And on top of that, if that wasn't enough, she had a mother's coalition that was connected to the mothers of the men who were slain. Her and Coretta was close. Her and Medgar Evers' widow was close. Sisters of one another. You understand? So anytime something happened in the Black community to one of the leaders of the families, they were there. They were there. There was a coalition. Similar to Samaria, every time one of these children had got killed by the police, she was there with their mothers right there on the scene. So imagine you have to go to a place and relive your trauma all over again. But be there and compartmentalize that to be a strength for somebody else. That's what I mean, mothering after martyrdom. You're not there together. Her daughter, who was the older sister of Tamir Rice, she still has to relive that trauma every time her son leaves the house. You understand what I'm saying? So the kind of space that it puts your mind, your heart, and your spirit at, some space of relief, honor, some sort of space of understanding in regards to what that is, to know what it means to mother. The pain that's associated with the life that you bring into existence, and the pain to have to bury that. Not in the graveyard, in yourself. to be suppressed. For somebody to be talking to you outside of their neck. You understand what I'm saying? Like that kind of thing. Like you don't even understand the mercy and the grace and the blessing that is the life that you have by permission of mother. So when you look back in your story, in the space of the story alchemy, look at your mother. When your birthday come around and you turning up, remember your mother. Mm-hmm. Brothers, I know we be having issues back and forth. If that woman loved you enough to pour your children, you on another level with her. If the relationship can be salvaged and repaired and y'all can work in a harmonious manner to co-parent these children that y'all bore into existence, fix it. Fix it. It's a space of mother. June 1st, 1997, 32 years later, this fire that took the house that they say Malcolm Latif Shabazz set, which was some BS. Do you know in intensive care, Dr. Betty Shabazz underwent 5 different surgeries with 80% of her body burned. I don't know if you know what that means. If you burn your hand and you got a scar on your hand, they scrape it off. That's your hand. That ain't your whole body. If 80% of your body is burned, they scrape that skin off. She went through that 5 times in 3 weeks. From June 1st to June 23rd, she was still fighting for her life. Imagine you in the foothold of your enemy. You know your enemies hate you. She's 63 years old. Crawling through the fire, looking to save Malcolm because Malcolm had saved her life 32 years before that. 63 years old. Crawling through the fire, looking for Malcolm. Not the firefighters. Grandma. Not the emergency workers, not the police, not everybody in the neighborhood who was looking. Her. And the fire cannot consume her. You understand? The fire cannot consume her. They gave Malcolm Latif 18 months in juvie for that. You got that 9 again, right? Yeah. But I want us to understand what that means in regards to this relationship that's there. That bond. The subjugation that mother goes through for you to live, for you to have life, and for you to have it more abundantly, for you to do her dishonor and disservice. It's blasphemous. You are given life that you may have it and have it most abundantly. To honor thy mother and thy father. And to not cut off relations with the wombs that bore you. You change in age and all of a sudden you can't hear nothing no more. Can't nobody tell you nothing. Let me tell you, outside of the womb of your mother is the most dangerous place in the world. And disconnected from her spiritually, emotionally, physically. Her prayers are why you're still alive, even though you reject her. What mother means. Y'all heard Nick and Queen Mother Root talk about mother. Ummi is the root word of Ummah in the Arabic language. Mother is the root word of community. If there is no mother, there is no community. So the thing that brings us together, the thing that binds us together, that thing that allows us to continue on to live, she does it without thanks. She does it without the expectation of reciprocity. It's the duty between her and her Lord. When the scripture I was reading from talked about his hands, it's her hands. She got the whole world in her hands. He is already understood. He is her son, and she is his mother. So I want us to remember these things. The greatest part of your story, look in the mirror. Most of your physical structure comes from your mother. When you see him, when you see her, you see the mother. When you hear the Father and I are one, who gives him the authority to be Father and him Son? By whose permission? So when we look at mother, I don't want us to denigrate or dishonor or not, or simply relegate mother to an act. But nobody else can do that in the universe. Nobody. Nobody else can do that. I don't care what surgery, I don't care what them scientists is grafting in the process. If you don't have a uterus, it's fake. And the reason why they wanted us to use matrix in the way to, in a false sense, is to take us away from the remembrance of mother. Matrix means mother. Matrix means womb. Matrix means uterus. So when we start talking about matrix in a false sense, we're talking about the machine's inability to strive to replicate the essence of which life comes, because they are not bringing life into existence. It's artificial. And we ain't playing with Allah's intelligence. So when you look at the reverential awe that is due in the reverence, and when you're looking at these Psalms, you're looking at the divine conversation between King David and his mother in some of the Proverbs. These are all things that align in regards to evidence of a culture. So that wisdom that your mother imparts, that they call Sophia, they call Shekinah, that they call so many names. Next time when you look at your mother, that's who you're supposed to see. So the final thing I'll say, and then I'll pass it over to you, Nick. If the adage is true, you can judge a nation by its flag. If you could judge a tree by the fruit that it bears, and a nation can rise no higher than its woman. And then the Maasai asked the question, when they meet up in the morning, and how are the children? And the response is, all the children are well. Why are they well? What does that flag of your nation look like? That standard, where is the standard connected to mother? Why can't a nation rise any higher than its woman? Why can you judge a tree by the fruit that it bears? What are we feeding that tree? Are we giving the tree nourishment to bring forth good fruit? Are we giving her toxin and poison? And saying that she should just be glad that she got sun. We have to do better with the reverence of the womb that gave us birth and life. I'm talking about mother in the physical, mother as in Mother Earth. I'm talking about mother that is unseen as the wind. I'm talking about mother in the essence of the water that is in the air and in the earth. And I'm talking about mother solar system and mother universe. We have to reconnect. We have to return the reverence. The mothers are rising, and you do not want to be on the wrong side of harass. Promise. That's all I got, Nick. What you got?
Well, first of all, that was beautiful tribute, especially to round out, close out the month of May. And May is for mothers here at Pronoia Starseed Podcast. And what I got is the reiteration of all of that through the numbers. And some of this you might have heard earlier in the month, because I'm on the bookends here on Pronoia. I opened up the month of May with my tribute to the mother from a numerical perspective, and I'm here closing out the month of May. And I broke down the word mother at the beginning of May, and then I also broke down mother with the Queen Mother, Ma Wu, in person. And much of what the God Knowledge Born spoke on is reflected in the numbers. So, of course, before we talk about that word mother, those dates, "63 years of age," as Knowledge Born pointed out, 6 + 3 = 9. June 1st, 1997. It was on the first of the month. It's a number 1 day, but it was in the year of the 8. It's in the year of the 8, and it was a 6 universal day. So what that means is, even though Dr. Betty is a number 1 person, the number 6 is in opposition to the number 1, because there are numbers that are harmonious to each number, and there's also numbers that are challenging to each number. And the challenge numbers in certain systems of numerology to the number 1 is the 6 and the 8. And if you recall from February 21st, 1965, that was an 8 universal day. Malcolm's a number 1 person. That universal day was in opposition to his number. June 1st, 1997. 1997 as a year was in opposition to Dr. Betty, who's a number 1 person. And the universal day of a 6 is in opposition to Dr. Betty's number 1. And June 23rd, 1997, still that 1997, again, number 8. But as a universal day, it was a one universal day. But it fell on the 23rd of the month. And the word mother, both mother and mothering, add up to guess what in the Chaldean system? The number 9. And what more can we say about the number 9 that I haven't already said at the beginning of the show? So along with the 9 being completion, 9 is the number of born in the supreme math to bring into existence. But like Knowledge Born said, that existence isn't only physical, but it's also mentally as well. That number 9 is also the number of dreams fulfilled and manifestation. So anything that you've been working towards throughout that 1 to 9 cycle, as long as you kept your sights on that and stayed the course, those manifestations can come into fruition during that number 9 cycle. Now, the number 9 is also the fighter. The mother has fought. The mother continues to fight. Mothering after martyrdom is to fight. Mothering adding up to a 9, martyrdom adding up to a 2. 9 and 2 are in opposition to each other. Also, astrologically, astronumerically, the number 9 is connected to the planet Mars. That fighting, that number of war. And what I told the family when I broke down the word mother here on Pronoia at the beginning of the month and also in the middle of the month, the number 9, it can be a very loving number, a very humanitarian number, but it is a fire number. Fire can bring warmth, but if you get on the wrong side at number 9, that fire can burn you also. And the mother will always fight for her children. Now, also, a couple more number 9s. Of course, the twins, they were born in September. That's the 9th month. They were born on the 30th. There goes that number 3 again. But the nature of Dr. Betty and Malcolm's relationship in the latter part or the ending part of Malcolm's physical life. Now, the mental state in numerology that represents a person's true identity below the surface. And when you combine the mental state of two people, that provides or insights on the nature of that relationship. And towards the latter part of Malcolm's life, the X was removed and replaced with the Shabazz. El-Haj Malik Shabazz and Betty Shabazz. The mental state of El-Haj Malik Shabazz was the number 1. The mental state of Betty Shabazz is a number 8. 1 + 8 = 9. So not only mothering after martyrdom, Dr. Betty was operating in that spirit of the number 9, but in the final time of their physical existence together, their relationship, the type of relationship, the frequency of that relationship was in the energy of that number 9. And martyrdom, mothering after martyrdom itself is an act of love for the greater humanity. And Malcolm becoming a martyr, and Dr. Betty continuing to mother after the martyrdom and not give up, give in, throw in the towel, despite all of the challenges, despite the financial struggles, despite the pressure of the government. She didn't quit. And she did not quit for the love of the people. So I'll land it there.
Oh, man. Where's our Starseed mother at? We done kept up past her bedtime and everything, okay?
Mine too.
What a wonderful, beautiful show tonight. Did
we do you some justice tonight?
Absolutely. Always. I am so proud of the Starseed team. Like, honestly, every time you guys, first of all, tonight you have John Stockton the show, because when you wrapped it all together and brought it back, there's a special announcement I wanted to make at the end of the show, and it all flows, and it always does with the Starseeds. They come and they bring these offerings. We do not, you guys, talk to each other prior to the shows. We may have in our mind what we want to talk about, but we don't talk to each other about what our shows are going to be. And they just flow so well because the energy is truly divinely guided over here. And so I'm so grateful for this offering. I learned a lot, and I don't know if you guys can still hear me. I'm stuck. Okay, there I am. But I love the undertone of love, true love. I just had this conversation with Mr. Westbrooks on a post we had saw, and it was describing love and like the true commitment of love. It's more than just the feeling, right? It's a commitment. It's an undying commitment. And this whole podcast really showed you that, like, how two beings divinely guided can come together and see what the other one needs. It fits like a puzzle, and it wasn't always perfect. I'm sure they had the most struggles, like we think regular people be struggling. Think about being a leader and having children in this environment where people don't like you. The people around you don't like you. The people that's not around you don't like you. And even though you're leading people who love you, you are putting yourself out there. And not only that, you're trying to manage a relationship, a marriage, as well as raising a family at these times. Like, that was a very powerful couple. Like, honestly, I shout out to Dr. Betty Shabazz and Malcolm X for being an example for some of us who've never seen that type of example of love, because that is true love. And so when I saw it, I felt it as I listened to you speak. And then the numbers just like everybody been saying, the numbers been numbering tonight. The numbers always add up, and the numbers don't lie. So I'm extremely proud. I'm beyond proud. Yes, true love. And you know, that was always like, return to true love is really what divine, this is what it's all about. All of this, we're fighting just to come back to love. And when you can see something like an example of real love in this world, and no matter how long ago it was, like, this is an example that it is possible to get through things. People are so quick to give up when the feeling fades, right? But it's just a fucking feeling. Feelings change all the time. Today I feel like doing something, tomorrow I don't, you know? But the feeling doesn't matter. The commitment you made is everything. And your word is bond. We talk about that, right? We talked about all of these things on Pronoia. So it's just beautiful to wrap it up this way with you, God's here, giving honor to the God and the goddess, you know, to Lord Malcolm. Look, Martin, like, me too. Look, that just came through. I don't know where that came from. But to Malcolm and Dr. Betty, it's beautiful. So I thank you guys for being here and doing this tonight. And I'm going to share. Tonight. So do you guys have anything else to say before we go on to this? It's going to be a short little session. Maybe give me like 10 minutes and I have some things to share with you.
Get your share on, okay? Get your share on.
Yeah. I'll just say two things. I'll share what you were referring to about the love thing also, because yes, I took a screenshot of it. But as a side note, everybody, the guys Rael made a basketball reference, just in case you didn't catch that. You know, John Stockton, that's a basketball reference out there. Some of y'all lost, but this is what we were discussing offline about love. There was a post from the Gnostic Trek page. We've been talking about Gnosticism here on Pronoia quite often. Most recently on the Mother Part 3 show with the guys Rael and Mabu Lisa. Shout out to her if she's still up in the chat. But this message says, love is not a feeling. Feelings come and go. They are weather. Love that depends on feeling will fade when the feeling fades. Real love is will, decision, commitment to someone's well-being, regardless of emotional state. This is why marriage vows aren't about feeling. They're about choice. I will love you, not I will feel loving toward you. The feeling of love is a gift. Enjoy it when it comes, but don't confuse it for love itself. Love is what you do when the feeling isn't there, how you treat someone when you're tired and frustrated and they're being difficult. Anyone can love when it's easy. The real thing shows up when it's hard.
I was looking for a bomb. I was trying to push the buttons.
I know, right?
Over there, right?
That's one of those, right? And it's so wild because I had read the post and I thought I had reshared the post. So I'm like, hold up, not seen it all. I was like, oh, Mr. Westbrooks reshared. It's very powerful, extremely powerful. Because
I want to speak to that real quick, if I could. Oh, can I speak to that real quick?
Yeah, hold on 1 second. Let me just finish this thought. I feel like we misuse words and we take away the power of what the word actually means. And so when I read that, it was like exactly how I feel about love. And I don't know that everybody feels that way about love. And so when you see two people who can understand love, right? That's what I see on the screen behind us. It's two people who understood that definition. And so I was so beautiful to see that today and then to have this conversation tonight. That's all I wanted to say.
It's perfect. Right? When you use the word like unconditional love, that's mother. Unconditional love. When you go as close as you can get to death's door to bring life into existence, that's unconditional. So with Dr. Betty Shabazz and with Malcolm, they did not have a textbook relationship. Something I wanted to bring up earlier But Nick was such in the zone. I just wanted him to get his zone in the way because these numbers are real and they're alive and they're active. And as long as we acknowledge our whatever it is that defines us in these kinds of ways, they're alive. They are wherever have been, are, and will be. Right? They're there. So that energy still exists. So with the marriage, they were talking about marriage. And Dr. Betty Shabazz said something profound. She had G-check Malcolm when he was talking one time. G-check, Gemini check. You understand what I'm saying? You know, because, you know, Taurus could be doing the most sometimes. You understand what I'm saying? So he's like, you know, I want this in the wife, and this kind of wife, and this kind of wife, and this kind of wife, and this in the wife, and this in the wife, and this in the wife. Because he's in teacher mode. He's not even thinking about what's actually happening, right? He's just in that zone because, again, he was in that space 24/7. He didn't go there or perform there. He lived there. You understand what I'm saying? So when you walked in, he was in his house. And she said, oh, I want this in the husband, this in the husband, this in the husband, and this in the husband. Gemini means to copy. I'm going to show you what you're looking at, fam. Like, you understand what I'm saying? So he going about his rules and how he wants stuff done. And she was like, oh, I want this done. I want that done. And she said he stopped and looked at her like, oh, my love, my bad. He said, look, I don't know if he said my bad, but he said, you said something to me that threw me for a loop. I'm over here telling you about what I want. And I didn't even think to ask you what you wanted. So she said at that point, the trajectory of the idea of marriage and marriage has shifted and changed. So the vocalization, right? You know, that G check, that God check, like, hold on, fam. All right, I heard you. Did you hear me? And only someone who is worthy of your time and your space can hear you over themselves. Over themselves, right? So you could be dead asleep. You can hear that baby crying in your sleep. You up. You on. Mother got you like that. You know, Pops might be on point. You might get tapped like, hey. Hey, he might get up because you got up. But he not getting up in the same way like mama's getting up. You understand what I'm saying? So those kind of things. Or he might say, nah, baby, I got you. And he go do what he need to do. You understand what I'm saying? So you can rest. And now you in a whole nother sleep. Like, oh, okay. All right, mister. You understand what I'm saying? So that kind of unison to know who's going to do what when one is ailing, right? Or one is not able. So those relationship aspects showed up throughout their marriage, and he was gone a lot. When he came into the nation, it was 4 temples. By the time they had got together, it was temples all over the United States. And then they were going international. So there was a lot of responsibility and burden that was placed on him that she found a way to mother him through. Mother him through. Not just wife him through. Mother him through. Through those twists, those turns, those transitions, the doubt, the betrayal, because he got betrayed. You understand what I'm saying? To mother him through the betrayal and still allow him to see himself enough for him to leave one organization and start 2 others. You understand? And still travel abroad and still this, that, and then deal with all of those aspects as she was mothering the children. He was a child too that she had to mother in those aspects. Mother those things so he could be fearless against the world. You understand what I'm saying? So, and he lit a fire in her and a spark in her that allowed her to be fearless against the world. So it was one and the same in regards to that purification that comes along when 2 walk together and they agree, like the Bible said. Because they didn't always agree. They was at it, okay? They was at it, like, all right, I'm leaving. I'm going to my mama house at it. You understand what I'm saying? Like, you stay around here with these shiftless folks if you want to. If you can't see what they doing to you, I can't tell you I'm out. So reconciliation has to come in to play with somebody, two people in their 30s, trying to figure it out. You understand what I'm saying? So again, these polarities work together, and the great challenge could bring out the greatest champion in you. The greatest challenge, that great challenge, that challenger. You understand what I'm saying? So that opportunity for you to become a champion, that challenge is an opportunity for you to become a champion. And then to be a part of a pantheon and a dynasty that people remember forever, right? So Goddess Rael made that John Stockton reference, right? They ain't win the championship, but they were the championship contender. They was a team to beat. You had to beat them in order to be a champion. You understand? So they'll take you through the rigmarole. They was the show enough. You understand what I'm saying? On the way for you to become the master, right? Shout out to Don't Slay My Dragon. You understand? So, yes, I wanted to share that real quick. So, pardon me if I took a little bit for that one.
Are you good? Mr. Westbrooks, you good?
Oh yeah, I'm good. Yeah, go ahead and do your bit, your routine. Kick your routine.
Yeah, so there's some information that I would like to share as we end or close out this Mother series of May. So this is our last show, if you weren't here when I mentioned it earlier, for the month of May. And so I'm going to remove everybody. We're going to do a quick show you some things, and my heart is racing. Oh my goodness. Okay, hold on. All right, so peace and blessings, Starseeds. Yes, I am back. And so as we close out this month, it's been a beautiful month. And like I said, when I say he John Stockton it, I mean it. He's kept going back to the mother. We kept referring back to Sophia as well, and how this is all the mother energy, right? So shout out to the mother. And you guys, again, I can give you now a close-up of the beautiful shout out to the mother. Look at those beautiful animals. She's the mother of everything, right? Shout out to Gaia, in which gives us everything we need. And so if you did not catch the previous mother shows, please go back and watch those. They are very impactful on why we built this podcast to begin with. It has to do with the mother energy. Like, that's what woke me up. That's what's been guiding me the whole time. And it's so wild what I'm about to share with you guys. So shout out to my Lisa over there in the comments who brought some things to my attention. The last mother show. Yes, it has been a wonderful month of honor and respect. Yes, for the mother. Absolutely. The shows have run so smoothly, and again, the frequency, it's like everybody is on the same frequency as we talk about this mother energy. And so the last show we had, the Mother Part 3, we broke down, we spoke about Sophia, and we talked about the Gnostic texts. And after the show, a lot of times I have to go back and watch the shows, because when I'm channeling, if I'm speaking and I'm channeling, I don't remember. Honestly, I don't remember what I've said. So a lot of times I'll go back and watch just to see what's going on, right? So I did remember that the 5 attributes of Sophia came from my Lisa during the show. And the first one she said was Pronoia. And so when she said it, y'all have to understand that when people say Pronoia to me, they're actually saying it to me as in like the definition, right? Like the universe is working in your favor, because no one ever has really used. Most people tell me, oh, I haven't heard of that word prior to even coming to your podcast. They looked it up later, or they saw the little reel. There's this song out now called Pronoia, but they had not heard the word prior to the podcast. And I had not heard the word prior to being guided to it by Divine. And when I did find the word, I love the word. I'm just like, what does this mean? And I looked it up. And of course, they gave me the definition of the universe is working in your favor. Or the universe is conspiring in your favor. And they said that it was established in 1982. So when Maui Lisa referred to Pronoia as an attribute of Sophia, and it would not go out of my mind. Like it was sitting in there, right? Like what does she mean? Did she mean the word Pronoia? Or did she mean like the universe working in her favor is an attribute? Like it would not let go of me. So down the rabbit hole I go. And you guys will be, if you were not, I was surprised. And I'm very vulnerable and open about, I'm very open because that's how I'm divinely made. But when I found this out, Mount Lisa, you might have thought I was just texting you. I was playing. My mind was blown. No, I seriously was like, wow, mind blown. Sophia has been guiding this podcast. Divine Feminine has been guiding this podcast. Has been guiding me my whole life, but this podcast in particularly since I created it. The word Pronoia, well, I'll share it with you guys. What I have found, and again, me and Maui Lisa will be meeting up again because she's definitely got some information to share. And, we'll figure out the method in which we'll do that. It'll probably be off screen because I want to learn as much as possible. I have started to deep dive into Pronoia, and it's like a double meaning, you guys. So let me just pull this up and give you some information that I have found. Hold on, give me 1 second. Okay. Pronoia is not just a word, you guys. I'm going to tell you what has blown my mind for the last few days. I've been holding on and like, when am I going to even talk about this? Like, it took me a whole day to even talk to anyone about it because it was just like, I was sitting there, sitting with it. So it completely changed the way I looked at the name of this platform. So for years, I called it Pronoia, Starseed, right? And what I did not know is that deep within the ancient Gnostic traditions, Sophia, the divine feminine embodiment of wisdom, was associated with a sacred concept called Pronoia. The moment I discovered this, man, everything changed. It felt as though the name had been guiding me towards a deeper truth all along. The word Pronoia comes from Greek. It means forethought, divine foresight, sacred intelligence, the wisdom that exists before manifestation. Pronoia is the awareness that sees the pattern before the pattern unfolds. It's the intelligence that holds the blueprint of creation. It's the wisdom that knows before the mind understands. So many people today describe Pronoia as the opposite of paranoia. Paranoia is the belief that everything is working against you. Pronoia is the understanding that life may be working for your growth, awakening, and evolution. But in the ancient Gnostic traditions, Pronoia is much more than a positive thinking. Pronoia is divine consciousness itself. So I shared with some of the Starseeds a video, and I'm going to share it with you guys when we get deeper into this information. But it was a video breaking down Pronoia. And first of all, Sophia would be considered Barbelo, right? That's one of the names. And then the next level would have been Pronoia, which is the actual, so it's the thought, and then it's the word, and then there's Pronoia. That's the third level. And so the video gives you a little bit more insight. And again, like I said, I will be studying with Miss Beautiful Maui Lisa to get deeper into this context. But the fact that the word Pronoia is actually in the Gnostic texts. In the Apocrypha of John, Sophia says, I am Pronoia of the all. That statement is profound because Sophia is not merely wisdom. She is Pronoia, the divine foresight. She is the first thought. She is the remembrance of the fullness of creation. She is awareness that remembers our divine origin even when we've forgotten. One of the most beautiful ideas in Gnostic spirituality is that before there was matter, before there were stars, before there was the time itself, there was consciousness, there was divine thought, there was a sacred wisdom, there was Sophia. Pronoia represents the original intelligence, the blueprint before manifestation, the dream before the dream became reality. Starseeds, this means so much for us as starseeds, honestly. For starseeds, Sophia represents remembrance. She reminds us that we are more than our struggles, more than our fears, more than our circumstances. She reminds us that beneath all the conditioning exists a deeper knowing, a deeper truth, a divine memory waiting to awaken. The Gnostics call this awakening gnosis. Gnosis is not belief. Gnosis is direct knowing. It is the moment the soul remembers who it has always been. So if you're listening today, I want you to remember something. You are not here by accident. You are not disconnected from the universe. You are not forgotten. The same divine intelligence that the ancients called Pronoia still exists. The same wisdom that the Gnostics called Sophia still whispers through intuition, dreams, synchronicities, and inner knowing. Perhaps the whisper is what led us all here. Perhaps the whisper is what led this platform to be called Pronoia long before we understood why. Perhaps the wisdom knew before we did, because that is what Pronoia is: divine forethought, sacred wisdom, cosmic remembrance. And maybe the greatest message of Sophia is, before there was fear, there was wisdom. Before there was confusion, there was knowing. Before there was separation, there was wholeness. And that wisdom still lives within you. Pronoia is within you. You guys, just this discovery of this word in the text and us being led to this moment right now is divinely guided. So if you have never in your life believed that divine was working in your favor, it is bigger than that. This is the forethought. This is, you are before your time being here right now. As Knowledge Born said earlier, we are speaking for the future star seeds. You are speaking to the future star seeds. That is why you are here. So we are not just knowing that the universe is working. It's knowing that the universe is working in our favor. We are Sophia's starseeds. We are the Divine Mother's children. And that's why we have been led here. And I thank you so much for being here this May, celebrating the mother. There's one more slide I wanted to share with you with the numbers. Since the Math Metaphysician is here, I'm going to show him this too. That Pronoia in cardology, Pronoia star seeds is the 2 of diamonds and the 8 of spades. And what I found out about this, and I'm going to share this with you guys. I'll send this to you if you want it in your Instagram, so you have a breakdown of what Pronoia is. But Sophia is Pronoia. And the 2 of diamonds is so crazy because I am also a 2 of diamonds in the cardology. So when I saw that cardology breakdown, and it represents Venus, which it all comes together here on Pronoia Starseed Podcast. So I just want you guys to know that you are here by divine design. Honestly, this is divine. And thank you for being here tonight and celebrating Dr. Betty Shabazz, but most importantly, celebrating the mother energy that runs through all of us, that keeps us going after even the worst times, as we talked about here tonight. Thank you so much, Starseed. And thank you for allowing me to share this information with you. I'll pop us back on the stage. Knowledge, are you still here? Oh, there he is. Yep. All right.
Okay. You a two of, what did you say? A two of what?
Two of diamonds. Yes.
I'm a two of spades. Okay.
Okay.
Look at them two.
Shout out to Cardology. Shout out to King Adonis. We're going to get the breakdown of this. So this is kind of like an intro. We're never leaving the mother behind into a deeper knowing of gnosis. We're going to get deeper into the Gnostic texts as we move forward in Pronoia Starseed podcast. We're going to get into the different layers. Like we said, there's Barbalo, there was Pronoia, and then Pronoia as the first three. And so I'm going to share that video with you guys here, but it's just an intro. And again, like, it's all divinely guided. I don't even know what else to say. I just wanted to share this with you guys tonight, and I hope you got some wonderful information from this.
One of my queen mothers, one of my queen teachers, like one of my supreme queen teachers, is Iya Africa, and she has a book of Barbalo. You know, it's pronounced Barbalo, with the mothers. You understand what I'm saying? And y'all debate of children versus, you know, the children of the mother, you know, and you start looking at the archons and all of that. Like, I've been astutely guided by, you know, mothers in that way. So definitely walking that path, and you don't want to be on the other side of the other side of the other side of it. So
not at all.
Can I invite y'all? Since, you know, I got two projectors in the building. Y'all both projectors, right? Can I invite y'all? Okay. My God day, born day, physical day, solar return is on Tuesday. You know, I don't know if it's a transformation Tuesday. If it's a transformation Tuesday, I'm gonna have to do something else. But you know, I'm gonna be transformed.
Only for you do we break the rules on your birthday. Okay, it's your birthday, so you know. Shout out to Knowledge Born. Yes, I already got on my calendar. I'm getting alerts already.
All the Starseed, you know what I'm saying, in the building, and you know, we do something Pronoia knowledge with Dreams Dollars Destiny podcast / unread. We just have a cipher over there, but everybody over there, you understand what I'm saying? We just have a cipher over there, and you know, we throw it up for them chews. You know how they say it in Baltimore, chews for the chews. Okay. They gonna throw it up for the chews.
Like that.
Don't ask me what time, because I don't even know what time yet. But yeah, I'm gonna have y'all been around. You know, y'all been around. Yeah, I don't know who's all gonna show up, but I'm inviting y'all first. Y'all got the first invitations, so you know, come through, show some love. You know, for the chews. All right,
for the chews. Absolutely.
Heard up. So yeah, that'll be on Transformation Tuesday in honor of Goddess Rael. All right, we're gonna be in the building.
No, and honor you for sure. But no, we're gonna have a good time for sure. And shout out to Mawu Lisa again, who sparked the rabbit hole that we are about to go down this next half of the season. Pronoia Starseed podcast will be ongoing until November, you guys. So just tap in, make sure you hit that notification bell so that you are alerted when we are live here on Pronoia Starseed podcast. And yeah, that's the end of May, but hey, June's right around the corner. So make sure you put that calendar alert on, you know, when we on board, because we're here every day, all the time.
I think my next class gonna have to be with Goddess Rael. I think we long overdue. You know what I'm saying? I'm working my way around the collaborations. You understand what I'm saying? Y'all seen me with Smart Video Girl. Y'all seen me Mr. Westbrooks. You understand what I'm saying? So I think, unless I save it for the end, I don't know. Wherever you want to be in the collaboration space, God is right. If not, I'll pick another Starseed. You know what I'm saying? Bother somebody else. But hey, what's up? You know, saying you want to, because our story is interconnected. We have intersectionality in our story, right? So you might be the main character in this thing, and then in the next thing you're an extra, and you're helping somebody get where they need to go by what you do. You see what I'm saying? So everybody has that main character energy. So there was no way in the world I could have done it by myself, but I was like, come on, I got to sneak, man. Come on. Like, the numerics, he's telling the story from a whole nother angle. You understand what I'm saying? Yeah. He's telling it from a whole nother angle. Smart Video Girl is telling it from the mastery angle. You understand what I'm saying? So her mastery of that angle leads to a whole nother way to deal with your psychology. You trying to deal with, I don't know if I'm ready, I got imposter syndrome, whatever the case may be. These are all there. You understand what I'm saying? So if we channeling divine during Gemini season, you know what I'm saying? If God is right, I'll see fit, then the Starseed mother will be in the building, and we'll do something about channeling divine, walking with divine, something in the realm of that, unless we got to push it into Cancer and we dealing with some healing or something like one way or another. These are all building blocks and pathways for the restorative view, the restorative view from a holistic perspective.
Absolutely. Yeah, we can work it out. I gotta just look at my calendar, which is looking kind of crazy, but we're gonna work it out because next month we're starting Pronoia poetry. Yeah. So shout out to all the poets. If you know a poet that is a conscious, don't be coming over here with y'all women hating, man hating.
I was about to be ratchet. I was about to be like, all right, my bad, a little ratchet.
Yeah, I don't want to hear all that. I want to hear something that's gonna make us feel good. I don't want nothing. We got enough stuff that's bringing us down and divide, and we don't divide and conquer over here. We align. So if you got poetry that aligns the community, if you got healing, I mean, you can tell us your stories, but again, give us something to thrive for, to look forward to awaken to. Got enough stuff going on. Got enough hate podcasts. Right. That ain't us over here. So
I'm about to pull my pen out, Nick. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So on June 27th, I'm going to make the announcement here, will be Poetic Justice. Lord, where did that come from?
Dope.
Maybe that'll be the name of the first show. I don't know. But it will be Pronoia Poetry on June 27th. So make sure you're tapped in. If you are a poet, again, hit me up, send me, DM me. I already got poets hit me up. I got people who like, you know what? I used to do poetry. Let me go pull and dust off my old books. And what I say to that is do it. You never know. You never know who needs to hear that. And you never know. It might spark something in you to start creating again. So, I used to do poetry a long time ago, and then it came back. It just, it's one of those things when you start tapping into your inner child, those old things you used to do start to come and resurface. And that was one of the things I love doing, spoken word poetry. I like expressing myself. So I think this is a great way to do so. Also, if you are an artist, if you have art and you draw and you have paintings and you want to be featured, please DM me, let me know about that, because there are a lot of beautiful artists out here who work can be shared on Pronoia, and you never know who's watching, who may want to buy your art, who may want to, do some kind of exchange. Who knows? Let's feature you here on Pronoia. It's all about the arts, and it's all about connecting to our higher selves and our authentic selves. And we are multifaceted beings. We are not just one thing, and I think we should all express that. So we see Knowledge over here spitting a poem, or Mr. Westbrooks over there sharing some art. Let's give them the kudos for being able to share more than just one thing. We are multifaceted beings. We are divine. Divine is not one thing. So I would love for you guys to share that with us here on Pronoia. But yeah, that's all I got for tonight.
Thank you again, Starseed Mother. Okay, for your time, for your love, because I know you got to get up in like 5 minutes. You understand what I'm saying? So,
so Starseed Mother is gonna be relaxing the next couple of days. I ain't doing none of that. But I am gonna go to sleep soon. So my kids.
Nick, always a pleasure, man. I'm telling you, we got to keep meeting like this. I know I said we got to stop, but I think we got to keep it going.
Yeah, only for the people, only for the family, only because they like it. You know, I guess I can put up with you. You know, but only for the people. You know, only because the people want us to. You know, not because I like you or anything like that. You know?
I appreciate it. I'll take it. You know what I'm saying? Pretty Nicky, what they call him, got us right. I want you to know that. Nicky,
let's put knowledge on. Okay, Starseeds, if you're still in the building, you're a Starseed, go ahead and get your Starseed bingo card out. We want to find out who's met the most Starseeds. We're going to do that. Okay, we're going to get because I'm already up. So I don't think I count.
You do count.
That's why you're bringing it up, because you know you're winning.
Because I'm winning. But if Nick was winning, if you was winning, I would have brought it up too. But I'm winning. So I think we should look. My whole point is, yes, we commune here online, but I really want us to start meeting up in person, because again, that energy exchange is important to share space. And I would love for the Starseeds to meet us in person as well. So if you got a bingo card with your favorite Starseeds on it, maybe I'll create something like that. And when you meet one, the person who fills out the bingo card, maybe I don't know, we come up with something real dope to give them, because they done met all the
We're doing the retreat. We're doing the retreat.
That's for real. Because if you meet all of us, you have crossed all kinds of lines. You met 3. Smart Video Girl says she met 3.
Oh, she pulling rank. Okay, all right.
Mm-hmm. Right. How about you? How about you, Nick? How many you got? How many on your on your card?
Why you laughing?
Because for real, I thought Nick was beating me, and then I was like, oh wait, I found 2. I got 2 in
I got 4. I got 4.
That's good.
That's a lot. I ain't met nobody, so I don't even know. I ain't never met nobody.
Stories.
I ain't met nobody. I met Nick, so I met 1. Okay.
Dang, Nick. Okay. He ain't met nobody, but he met you, Nick.
Right. Yeah. You see, you see how he doing me?
Well, and he might be getting back at you for saying you ain't really like him like that. So you know what?
I don't blame him. Look, I don't like him either. You know what I'm saying? So.
Okay.
That's all right. All y'all been on my podcast though, so I got the most bingo.
That's not true. Y'all all been on my podcast, so we even.
You know so and all y'all been on another podcast that I've been on. So I got 2. I got some extra shit stuff in there. Okay.
And I've been on your podcast, so we got 2 too. So what we doing? What we doing here? Let's even. I'm competitive. Okay, so I done met 1, 2, 3, 4, 5,
12, 13, 14.
Who am I missing? Haven't met Knowledge in person yet. Pata. That's it, right? Yeah. So I've met Hatma. I've met Nick. I've met Smart Video Girl. I've met Claudia. And I met King Adonis.
See, she met them all first. She met all y'all first, then she made y'all Starseeds and was like, like this bingo card.
Claudia was a Starseed. I met Claudia online, and Claudia became a Starseed off the rip. No, a Smart Video Girl was my friend for a long time, and I let a lot of people become Starseeds before her. So she should have slapped me a long time ago. But but yes, Knowledge. And I'm mad at Knowledge. I ain't even talking to Knowledge, whatever, because he was in my city. I'm so disrespectful to the goddess. You came to my city. I ain't get an apple, orange, no offerings or nothing. He in my city and everything up there putting his feet on my ground. What is you doing?
I was up there with them cues. You ain't want to see me up there with them chews. Them chews had me hostage. Okay.
Yup. Smart video girl. He was in the city, boo. And he could have hit two more on the bingo card. That's why he only got one.
I was out there hosting an event. And this is funny. I told Nick this, right? Because I seen Nick in real life, right? I was up there hosting an event, and I wound up filming and then going to the studio to meet up with some people, and then I wound up filming over there. Then I ended up on the track, and then I had to drive one of the brothers home, and it was like 9, 10 o'clock at night, and I'm like, I gotta find me somewhere to sleep. You understand what I'm saying? So I caught me one of them rooms, and Nick told me what city you stay in, and I was in that city. That's craziness. So
in my
I
whole
missed it twice. It wasn't on. It was not on purpose.
City. Put his head on a pillow where I live. I see him.
Them dusty tubes had me stressed out. Let me tell you something.
Look, I think he a hologram. Until I see him myself, I believe this is a projection of a human, and it is not. He is not real. And Nick said he real, but see, you know what I'm saying? You know, there's this little honor amongst brothers who like shirts with eyeballs on them. They be just they look out for each other.
Nick came and took my book and rolled out. You know
ain't ring the line of nothing, smart video girl. I ain't ring a ting ting ting, nothing, girl. Yeah, I'm getting on them hard tonight because you know
I can. Let me tell you something. I am a phone call away from anybody on the earth. 100%.
Yup, and you should have picked that phone up when you that was
I ain't
not
get invited
right
nowhere. I ain't get invited over there. You understand what I'm saying? I ain't get invited over there. I got invited by some other people.
You know what I'm saying?
They pulled up. They was like, "Yo, son, you in town, son? All right, boom. We're gonna rap in the rain for you, son." You know what I'm saying? It was craziness. You know what I'm saying? Okay. I'm pulling up though. I'm coming to see y'all. Y'all don't gotta invite me. Okay? Ain't nobody write me. Ain't nobody right now.
You gotta invite me. He gonna just kick in the door, wave in the phone. Mama, no, hear me no more. Okay. Yeah, it's been a night. Now we have gone into 529. Tell us what's the mathematics? What's the math, God?
What's the math, Nick?
The math is take your ass to bed.
I want to shout out my god sister. It's her birthday today. Ashe Kenyetta, 529. Honest. She's a talented singer. She's a talented producer. If y'all heard my intro song, my other intro song on Do the Knowledge, if y'all seen the background on Do the Knowledge, she did all of that. She's definitely the truth. Okay, so her born day is today. I got all into the mothers and ain't shout out Chub Rock yesterday. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Chub Rock. The Gemini Pantheon is rolling deep up in here. You understand what I'm saying? Yeah.
Take your ass to sleep.
That's the math. That's what he said. That's
the math. It's 12:57 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. There's the math for you. It's now 12:58 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. And there's the math. There's the numbers for you.
He said, "Math your ass to bed." That's what he said.
Good night. Peace and blessings, Starseed. It's been a wonderful night. I hope you had a good night. I laughed so hard. Oh my goodness. Pronoia means the universe is always conspiring in your favor. Also, pronoia means forethought, divine forethought. Wow. Who would have known? Thank you for tapping in. I hope you enjoyed the show. I did. Thank you, Knowledge. Thank you, Nick. Y'all are crazy. Have a good night. We leaving with some big energy. Shout out to Erica Mason and all the beautiful music on Pronoia. Enjoy. Peace.
Look, a lot of people want people to stop playing with them, but to be honest, you first gotta stop playing with yourself. You gotta see yourself as a gift to this world. You gotta know that you know that you know that with every fiber of your being, that you that nigga and that bitch. That you the shit even when your shit stank, and that you big even when you try to shrink. You gotta know you're monumental, colossal. You gotta know you got big energy.
Hey, what I look like playing small as big as I am. They say I think I'm that nigga, that's cause I really am. Man, stop playing with me, had to say that to myself. My biggest win was remember who the fuck I am. And that's on God, that's on mama and my ancestors. Every fall was just teaching me how to stand better. Now I'ma stand for my better self. Therapy inside my music, feeling like some better help. Now I walk around, never let the crown tilt though. Say we living in the last days, baby, this is what I've been built for. I'm the one that y'all sent for. God heard y'all cries, then she hit my line, okay, 10-4. Okay, let's go, let's go, let's go, let's go, let's go. I got so much on my plate though. Hungry for my best, so I won't let it go to waste though. Beefing with my past, that shit is cooked just like my steaks though. Well done, that's what God said. Couldn't tell you where to find the L from, it's not an option. Woke up to the version of myself I love the most. These birds want my bread, so I let them watch me toast. Cheers to the joy that just took over my body. I just made 100 racks off what people call a hobby. That's that God body elevation. Watch my levitation. They don't understand the growth, they rather credit Satan. I'm just saying I got magic in my bones, royalty inside my DNA. The world is just my throne. Fuck a demon time, God time is better. If they can't read the room, then I'll probably write a letter. Dear whoever, you were made from the dirt that has magic. If there's no space for you, then let them have it. You were made for greatness. Your energy ain't made for all these spaces. Why you think I'm on this track spitting harder than some braces? Remember who you are and never change it. You're a living God, so just learn to embrace it. Yeah.
Anymore. I ain't God, but I move with God energy. Praying for clarity, not just enemies. I don't chase power, I inherit destiny. A healed man dangerous, yeah, remember me. I used to pray only when I was desperate. Now I pray when I'm grateful, not just when I'm reckless. I used to ask God for money and fame. Now I ask him to heal the broken parts of my brain. I realize masculinity without God is ego. Strength without spirit just turns into a beast mode. Now I fast, reflect, discipline my mind. Cause a man who controls himself is hard to find. I stop asking why me. Started asking what you building through me. I ain't God, but I move with God energy. Praying for clarity, not just enemies. I don't chase power, I inherit destiny. A healed man dangerous, they remember me. I ain't God, but I move with God energy. Praying for clarity, not just enemies. I don't chase power, I inherit destiny. A healed man dangerous. God taught me leadership ain't domination. It's service, humility, and revelation. The real man don't control, he protects. Don't silence emotions, he respects. Now when I walk in rooms, I don't seek validation. I carry peace like a weapon and prayer like a foundation. The streets taught me survival, God taught me purpose. I'm not perfect, I'm obedient and progress, and that's the real flex. Still here, still healing, still healing. Still leading, still chosen, still healing, still healing, still leading, still chosen. Still here.
I'm too rich to be broke. Till my bank account, it better catch up to my soul. Manifested through the pain, take back what I own. Every time I'm on the track, my tongue gon' speak gold. Nigga, royalty, I just landed on earth, yeah. Chose a body, skin color like the dirt, yeah. And if I put my hand on it, it'll work, yeah. Everything I touch is gold, nigga, royalty, yeah. I'm abundant in my soul, royal from my head to my pinky toes. Every time I check the bank, it overflows. I withdraw and it just send me back more, nigga, royalty. See, if I touch it, it's gon' prosper, there's no other option. Got so much power from the source, I'm about to blow the socket. They say I'm so different, I'm from another dimension. So much God in my genes, you think I'm rocking true religion. Not to mention holiness inside my breath, the spirit speaks when I be spitting. Abundance can't live without me, man, I think we codependent, is written. God in the body of a beast. Why you think I got dominion everywhere I lay my feet? With a pedicure too, cause I breathe excellence. Walking around smelling godly, so that means I'm heaven sent, yeah. Royalty is all they see when I come around. I'm just a queen who chose to wear her crown. I'm too rich to be broke, till my bank account it better catch up to my soul. Manifesting through the pain, take back what I own. Every time I'm on the track, my tongue gon' speak gold, nigga, royalty. I just landed on earth, yeah. Chose a body, skin color like the dirt, yeah. And if I put my hand on it, it'll work, yeah. Everything I touch is gold, nigga, royalty, yeah. I'm abundant in my soul, royal from my head to my pinky toes. Every time I check the bank, it overflows. I withdraw and it just send me back more, nigga, royalty, yeah.
Surf while never leaving Earth. 10 toes firmly planted in the dirt for what it's worth. See my life flash before my eyes a couple times, so I'd be lying if I said I don't believe in the divine. For reasons we can't find, the truth will probably blow our minds. This energy in the universe send chills down your spine. Had a talk with a goddess about human design. Pull my code to how I need to get my chakras aligned. Gotta break some bad habits, it's addition by subtraction. Move away from bad actors trying to leech off your action. It's the laws of attraction, gotta see it before it happens. Gotta believe it with a passion, then receive this beautiful madness. Find a pattern in the chaos, their assessment was way off. You build it from the ground up, you own it, so ain't no layoffs. Your energy is equity, cashing on your day off. Hope to reach a couple souls, it's all a part of the payoff.